Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
All right, let's take it from the top again. Places. Action.
Well, let's see. We have on the bags, we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know is on third.
That's what I want to find out.
I say who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
Are you the manager?
Yes.
You going to be the coach, too?
Yes.
And you know the fellow's name?
Well, I should.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who is on first?
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
That's who?
Yes.
Hello again, everyone. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July weekend and enjoyed the yours truly Johnny Dollar 4th of July Marathon. I'm Barry Slinker, and I welcome you to another edition of Classic Radio Rewind. We have another good solid 1 hour of great radio shows coming at you this week. Coming up later, we'll hear from X-1 from 1957. First up, we're going to hear from The Martin and Lewis Show starring Danny Thomas. Danny Thomas and the boys present their version of You Bet Your Life. From November 9th, 1951, this is the Martin and Lewis Show with their special guest star, Danny Thomas. It's Classic Radio Rewind episode number 71, and it's coming to you right now.
From Hollywood, we present the Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis Show. Brought to you by Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor, and Chicklet, the candy-coated gum with the flavor that won't chew out. By Chesterfield, sound off for Chesterfield. Get something new, something no other cigarette has. Chesterfield mildness plus no unpleasant aftertaste. And by Anacin for fast relief from pain of headache, neuritis, and neuralgia. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our master of ceremonies.
Hi, folks. This is Dean Martin. Well, it's time for another song and fun fest around the old NBC mic, and we're certainly glad you were able to join us. Jerry should be along at any minute now. On the way to the studio, he was supposed to stop in and see his doctor. We all got a little worried about Jerry this afternoon. You see, his temperature went up to 64. Well, anyway, until Mighty Mouse gets here, I'd like to get things underway with a touch of whispering. Stavolini, let's it go. Whispering while you cuddle near me, whispering so no one can hear me. Each little whisper seems to cheer me. I know it's true, there's no one, dear, but you. You're whispering why you'll never leave me. Whispering why you'll never grieve me. Whisper and say that you'll believe me. Whispering that I love you. Whispering why you'll never leave me. Whispering why you'll never grieve me. Whisper and say that you'll believe me. Whispering that I love you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now I'd like to...
Whispering while your arm is dangling.
Hey.
Hey, what's with the hey? You want me to talk to me like a humane being?
Must you always walk out here like that?
Like what? What's wrong the way I walked out? What do you want I should do, roll over?
No, I mean you're always so boisterous.
Sure, I'm boisterous. What do you want I should be, girlstress? See, it's a play on words. He says boisterous, which means noisy, and I said girlstress. It's not really a word, but boy and girl, I put the word... Oh, I wish I was dead.
Oh, come on now, Jerry.
Now, the trouble is you don't want I should work at all. You don't want me out here at all.
But don't be silly, Jerry. Of course I want you to work.
Oh, no, you don't.
But I do want you to work. What makes you think I don't?
You just don't want it, because at the end of the week, when you get the money and I say, give me, you say to me, what did you do?
Jerry, listen to me. In the first place, the money comes to both of us. And in the second place, why must you talk like an idiot?
If I don't talk like an idiot in the second place, there won't be any money in the first place.
Ah, Jerry.
Oh, Dean. I've hurt you. I wounded your pride with my cruel words.
What's happened to you, Germ? You were so kind and sweet. Remember how nice and good-natured you used to be?
Of course. Wasn't I a doll?
And now look at you. One minute you're nice, and the next minute you go wild. Honestly, you're ex-consistent.
Yeah, I know, but ex-consistent? Ex-consistent? For a minute, I thought he was wrong.
Look, Jerry, how about the program? We don't have a first guest.
Oh, well, that's not so serial. Why don't you and I do...
It's not so what?
Let's think faster. I'm in 1A. It isn't really because, well, why don't you and I do one of those dramatic scenes we do so well?
A dramatic scene?
Sure, one of those real tear-jerkers.
Well, all righty. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Jerry and I give you our impression of a very tender scene. A man and a woman have a fight, and they are now trying to reconcile. I can't go any place.
Got no money?
I can't show my face.
You got pimples?
People stop and stare. Why, it's so hard to bear.
I know, Teddy.
Teddy?
It's so hard to bear, Teddy. Teddy bear.
Well, everybody knows that you left me.
Because you were mean to me, you picked on me, you abused me, you pushed me around, and just how much of that nonsense do you think I could stand for?
Why, it's the talk of the town.
It's your mother, she can't keep her mouth shut.
Every time we meet, my heart skips a beat. We don't stop to speak, though it's been a week.
6 days, don't lie.
Why, everybody knows you left me. It's the talk of the town.
It's your mother, do you hear me? She talks. Why, last Sunday, everyone in the neighborhood knew we had an argument. She has to tell every one of our affairs. Oh, is there no mercy?
We sent out invitations to friends and our relations announcing our wedding day.
And how well I remember me in my gray sequin gown. I love that dress more than anything in the world. When I walked down that aisle and Mildred called it a rag, it broke my heart.
Friends and our relations, what I gave, congratulations.
No present?
Nothing. How can I face him? What am I going to say?
You mean about the puppy?
Jerry! Come on. Let's make up, sweetheart. We can't stay apart.
You like me?
Don't let foolish pride keep you all from my side.
Coax me. Send me halava.
How can love like ours be ended? Oh, well, it's a talk of the town. Now that that's out of our system, let's lend an ear to Jimmy Wallington.
Thank you, Dean. And now here's something of interest to everybody.
For breathless moments, for your breathless moments.
Chew Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor.
Dentine tastes so good.
Dentine freshens your breath.
Dentine helps keep your teeth sparkling clean and white.
Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor.
Before you go out, and always after eating, drinking, smoking, refresh your breath with Dentine. You'll love Dentine chewing gum, for Dentine has a wonderful, tingling, nippy flavor that lingers on and on. It's delicious. And remember, Dentine helps keep your teeth white, too. Keep Dentine handy. You'll enjoy refreshing your breath when you chew Dentine. So, for breathless moments, for your breathless moments,
Chew Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jerry and I are making a practice both on television and radio to introduce just as many new faces and personalities as we can possibly introduce. So tonight, we would like you to meet and hear a young lady that we had the pleasure of meeting a few evenings ago. She sings a wonderful song, and we believe her future in this business is assured. Here she is now, the lovely Miss Bonnie Bishop.
Oh, thanks a lot, Dean. I'm certainly happy to join up with you.
Well, it's nice having you around, Bonnie. Say, they tell me you've been singing for quite a while.
Well, that's right. I started singing as a little girl in the shower.
Oh, I see. You're one of those soft soap sopranos.
I guess you might put it that way.
Well, if you can get along without your shower cap, we should do very nicely together. Let's have the downbeat, Richard.
I walked in with a smile. I walked out with a tear. While you danced, dance, dance.
At the place where we two had our first rendezvous, and we danced, danced, danced.
I came uninvited, and I found you so thrilled and delighted with someone new.
I walked in with a smile, I walked out with a tear,
and you danced, danced, danced.
I came uninvited, and I saw you so thrilled and delighted with someone new.
I walked in with a smile, I walked out with a tear, and you danced, danced,
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, now comes the time for Jerry and the boys to join me as we all sound off for Chesterfield.
Sound off for Chesterfield.
1,500 tobacco men have shown you before, and they'll show you again why Chesterfields are really best by mildness test.
They smell mild.
Chesterfield.
They smoke mild.
Chesterfield.
Milder, 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 milder Chesterfield.
That's right.
A careful test, precise and exact. Scientists prove this important fact that Chesterfield in every case left no unpleasant aftertaste.
Mildness plus.
No aftertaste.
Mildness plus.
No aftertaste.
no unpleasant aftertaste in Chesterfield.
That's right.
Now, if you're still a doubting Thomas, here's the thing that I can promise. Chesterfields will give you more, so when you're in the tobacco store,
Sound off.
For Chesterfield.
Sound off.
For Chesterfield.
Try a pack of Chesterfield.
do it.
Today!
What Jerry and I are trying to tell you, folks, is that Chesterfield Mildness Plus, no unpleasant aftertaste, is exactly what you want in a cigarette.
So try a pack of Chesterfields. Do it. today.
It's my pleasure to introduce a lot of nice people on this show, but no introduction has given me a bigger kick than the one I'm about to make now. Here's a man that Jerry and I have admired, respected for a long time. A wonderful guy, one of the country's most beloved comedians. Ladies and gentlemen, Danny Thomas.
Thank you. Hi, Dean. Thanks for the kind word, but what's all this, one of the country's most beloved comedians?
But you are beloved, aren't you?
Look, 90% of the time I'm on the road. I live in hotels, I work in saloons, I make faces into a television camera. I hold a dozen two-line conversations daily with bellboys and busboys, technicians and drunks. Twice a year I come home. My wife pecks me on the cheek. My kids say, "Who's he?" You call this beloved?
You comedians all talk alike. You know that? Now you take my partner, Jerry.
No, you take your partner.
Danny, don't you like Jerry?
I was just kidding. I have a lot of respect for the lad.
That's good, because here comes the animal now.
Hey, Dean, is it time for me to come out and be adorable?
Who is that chap? He looks familiar.
Jerry, I want you to meet Danny Thomas. He's a great admirer of yours.
Dean, you know the admirers are supposed to gather at the stage door.
Jerry, this is Danny Thomas, the comedian.
Oh, goody. Do you think he'll amuse me?
You were going to say abuse me, weren't you?
My subconscious mind was working.
I don't like how well you two are working together.
Listen, Dean, I didn't come here to be a punching bag for this monkey on a stick. I'll have none of that, sir.
Did you say he was a comedian? You invited another comedian on our show? I just realized. Well, if that's the way you want it, I'm through. THRU.
Oh, wait a minute. Don't get excited, Jerry. What's the matter with you?
You stay out of this, you team wrecker.
Jerry Louise, he's not splitting us up. He's just a guest. Look, if it'll make you feel better, I don't even like him, okay?
Oh, yes, you do. Don't lie. I can tell you like him.
How can you tell?
If he doesn't like you, how come he's letting you wear his old nose?
Wait a minute, Jerry, wait a minute. You shouldn't be jealous, really. I mean, you and I represent two different types of comedy. My comedy is that of a storyteller, weaving his tales of fancy over the hushed multitudes, holding them spellbound until the final word is spoken, catching their emotions in the palm of his hand.
You don't get laughed?
Of course I do, but we're worlds apart, Jerry. I like you, though. In fact, my whole family likes you.
They do?
Sure. You take, for example, my daughter, Teresa, bless her.
No, you take her.
My daughter, Teresa, always was one of my greatest fans, Jerry. When she saw me on television, why, she used to sit up and repeat over and over, "Daddy is funny. Daddy is funny." Then she saw you on television and became your most rabid fan. Now when she sees me, the words kind of come out different. She says, "Daddy is funny."
Gee, tell Teresa that I appreciate her loyalty.
You tell her. I haven't talked to her for 3 months.
Tell me, Danny, when you come back to radio, what kind of show would you like to do?
Well, I'll tell you, Dean, I go for the easy ones. You know, the quiz shows.
See, Dean, what I tell you, that's the kind of show we should have done, like Groucho Marx.
Well, no reason why we can't all do one now. Music, Rick.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, and Danny Thomas are proud to present their version of that popular quiz program, You Bet Your Life, entitled No, You Bet Your Life. And here he is, your master of ceremonies.
Well, that's me, Groucho Martin. Well, our giant jackpot is up to $9,000 in round figures. Smooth them out, and it comes to about 14 cents. George Feminine, who's our first couple?
Before we went on the air, the studio audience selected a sailor and a waitress as our first contestants. They're waiting off stage.
I got news for you, feminine. I just peeked out there, and I think you better call our second couple.
Well, Groucho, for our second couple, the studio audience selected a peanut vendor and a parking lot attendant. Gentlemen, meet Groucho Martin.
Welcome to... No, you bet your life. And if either of you say the secret word, you will divide $1.35. It's something that hangs around the house.
I know, it's my father.
You must be the parking lot attendant.
How can you tell?
You look like you've been run over. And you, sir, you must be the peanut vendor.
That's right. I'm a Salvatore Pacicalupi Paolo Garibaldi di Napoli, Junior the two.
Good gosh, I've been teamed up with a Swede.
Hey, Mr. Groucho, who is this fellow? You look like a long string of spaghetti with a meatball on the top.
I'll find out right now. Tell me, son, what's your name?
My name is Marvin M. Mintz.
Marvin M. Mintz. What's your middle name?
Marvin.
You mean your name is Marvin Mintz?
Oh, no. No, it's Marvin Mintz. The accent's on the first Marvin.
But how come two Marvins?
Well, when I was small, I was a very difficult child. And when my mother used to call me, I wouldn't listen, and she'd have to say, Marvin. So I'm Marvin.
What would you rather be called, Marvin or Marvin?
My friends call me Sidney.
Mr. Bachicaloop, tell me something about yourself. Are you married?
Oh, my shows. I've been married to one woman for 32 years.
Oh, you have any children?
We got 31 bambinos.
Are they all well?
Oh, they all in the pink condition. But Mr. Pacicalupi, she don't feel so good.
Well, is that so?
Yeah, you know, you never know where those measles are going to strike next.
Hey, how about getting on with the quiz? I gotta get home before my mother.
Why?
I'm wearing her sneakers.
Well, if you win the $9,000, you can buy a pair of shoes.
You mean we're gonna get a chance at the jackpot? Boy, what I could do with $9,000.
All right. You have $20. How much do you want to bet? Now, remember, you're going for $9,000.
I don't know. I asked my partner. Hey, Brushhead. We got a $20. How much you want to bet?
Let's bet a dime.
What's the matter? You crazy? You got a $20 and you're going to bet a dime?
All right. You're right. All right. Make it a nickel.
Hey, how come you're such a cheapskate?
Mother raised me to be a miser.
All right, Mr. Bachicaloop. Stand by for the jackpot question. If E is to X, what L is to F, what is the sum total of the third equation? Talk it over thoroughly, but remember, we only allow one answer. Remember.
Well,
I'm time. Your sorry is up. Up. Thank you, Mr. Bachicaloop, for being with us, and better luck next time.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Grouch, and give my regards to Apple and to Chicklets.
Hey, there's no way to run a quiz show.
Well, what do you know about quiz shows?
What do we know about quiz shows?
Walter O'Keefe gave me a brand new toaster.
Double or nothing, paid him off in tow.
Truth or Consequences gave a suitcase.
At Break the Bank, they told me where to go. It rhymes with swell.
People are funny, gave us many prizes.
A stove, an iron, and a dinner gong. But stop the music with the best of all for us. They gave us all the finish to the song.
We had no punchline. They gave us all the finish to the song.
Let's all return to the state of sanity for about 1 minute and listen to Jimmy Wallington.
Thank you, Dean. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter what you now take for headache relief, we urge you to try Anacin for the incredibly fast relief these tablets bring the next time you're suffering from a headache. Now, the reason Anacin is so wonderfully fast-acting and effective is this. Anacin is like a doctor's prescription. That is, Anacin contains not just one, but a combination of medically proven active ingredients in easy-to-take tablet form. Thousands of people have received envelopes containing Anacin tablets from their own dentist or physician, and in this way discovered the incredibly fast relief Anacin brings from pains of headache, neuritis, or neuralgia. So the next time a headache strikes, take Anacin for this wonderfully fast relief. Anacin, A-N-A-C-I-N, Anacin at any drug counter in handy boxes of 12 and 30. Economical family-sized bottles of 50 and 100.
Some years ago, before I ever dreamed of singing professionally, I was working in a grocery store in my hometown. Now, you don't really need a band to sing with when you feel the urge, so it was my habit to sing to the tinny accompaniment of the rattling cans I was pyramiding on the shelves. Well, one day I was stacking a few cans of cranberry sauce, humming a long forgotten tune, when I realized that someone was standing quietly near me. She couldn't have been more than 17 and just as pretty as a spring day. I don't know how long she had been standing there, but it sure was nice to know I had been serenading someone. When she asked me to sing a special song, well, my joy was just about complete. I guess this was the first person to show any real interest in my voice, and I know I'll never forget her. What's more, I'll never forget the song. Wherever you are, Jeannie, this one is for you.
What'll I do when you are far away and I am blue? What'll I do? What'll I do when I am wondering who is kissing you? What'll I do? What'll I do with just a photograph to tell my troubles to? When I'm alone with only dreams of you that won't come true, what'll I do? What'll I do with just a photograph to tell my troubles soon? When I'm alone with only dreams of you that won't come true, what'll I do?
Gee, Dean, I think you're the greatest singer in the country.
Well, thanks, Jer.
How you'll do in the city, I don't know, but in the country, you're great.
Oh, that's really nice singing, Dean, but I still can't get over that fine Groucho impersonation.
Yeah, that was swell. You know something, Danny? I'll bet you do a great imitation of Chico.
Hey, we ought to make a picture someday, Dean. You do Groucho, I'll do Chico, and... who will you do, Jerry? Jerry, who will you do?
Jerry, that's the nicest sound that's come from you in years.
Well, good night, fellas. Thanks all.
Good night, Danny.
And so, folks, hope to see you again next week. Until then, this is Dean Martin.
And Jerry Lewis reminding you that we appear on radio through the courtesy of Hal Wallace Productions, producers of our current release, That's My Boy, and our new picture, Sailor Beware.
Night, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Hollywood, you have just heard transcribed The Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis Show, written by Ed Simmons and Norman Lear, produced and directed by Dick Mack, with music under the direction of Dick Stabile, brought to you by Dentyne, the gum with the breathtaking flavor, and Chiclets, the candy-coated gum with the flavor that won't chew out. By Chesterfield, sound off for Chesterfield. Get something new, something no other cigarette has. Chesterfield mildness plus no unpleasant aftertaste. And by Anacin for fast relief from pain of headache, neuritis, and neuralgia.
Hear Duffy's Tavern with Archie on NBC.
That was the Martin and Lewis Show with their special guest star Danny Thomas, as originally heard November 9th, 1951. We've got more from Classic Radio Rewind when we return with X-1 right after these messages.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Out here, in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. And sometimes, that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Stress builds up, you have trouble sleeping, maybe your mind is racing and you just don't feel like yourself. So what do? We get help. Lots of people are struggling with their mental health. It's more common than you think. The good news is, there are people in our community who are here for us when times are tough. Sometimes, just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world, so we don't feel so alone. One thing you can do is visit loveyourmindtoday.org for simple steps you can take to find the right solution for you. Whether it's hearing stories about what other people are going through, or finding the resources we need to navigate the stresses in our lives. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Classic Radio Rewind. I'm Barry Slinker, and coming up next, we're going to hear from X-1, starring Nelson Olmsted. A bassoon player who loses his job to a robot won't stand for it. From June 27, 1957, this is X-1 with the Category Inventor.
This is Walter O'Keefe, inviting you to listen in on the Nightline. Tonight, live the incredible life of ages yet to come, in a time that might be 1,000,000 years from now, on X-1. now an incredible story of the world beyond.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire.
From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, The Category Inventor by Arthur Sellings. But first, hear this. I don't have time to tell you all about the many things that make Pabst Blue Ribbon a better tasting, more thirst-quenching beer. Besides, you're more interested in how it tastes than how it's made. But one thing you should know, experience is the most important ingredient in any beer. And Pabst is the product of America's oldest national brewer, established 1844. Pabst of Milwaukee. Now, X minus 1, as Nelson Olmsted stars in The Category Inventor.
Frankly, I didn't expect to have the trouble. The morning that it happened was just like any other morning. I came into the locker room and took off my coat, and through the open doors I could hear the welcome sound of the boys warming up. Perhaps I should have realized something was wrong when Kurt Bergson, the orchestra manager, came up to me.
Gilbert, how are you this morning?
Fine, Mr. Bergson. I'm not late, am I?
No, not late. You must have left the house early this morning.
Yes, I did. It was such a nice day, I thought I'd walk. Luckily, I don't play the double bass. Bassoon isn't so hard to carry.
You didn't get your mail this morning?
No, I didn't. Mail usually comes about 10 o'clock. Well, I better get out there and warm up.
Gilbert, I wish you hadn't gotten your mail this morning. You see, I have to let you go.
What? But what do you mean? Why? What's the matter?
Well, you understand.
But there's a concert tonight and tomorrow night. Who can you get to replace me? Well, where can you get a bassoonist? Where? Oh, no.
I'm sorry, Gilbert. It had to happen.
Oh, no. Not the bassoon. The timpani I can understand and the piano, but not the bassoon. I'm going out there.
Don't, Gilbert. Don't. You'll just be unhappy.
Now, let me by, Mr. Bergson. I've got to see it with my own eyes. Of course it was bound to happen. Where my music stand and chair had been stood a gleaming coppery robot. His music stand was attached to a bracket that came out from his forehead, and his electronic scanning eyes were blinking and ready. He had 7 fingers on each fully articulated hand. His lips were precast in perfect bassoonist embouchure, with flexi-plasti butyl skin adjusting to the reed. I could hear the softly whirring motor of his constant pressure breath apparatus. It had come. The robot bassoonist.
Now, Gilbert, honey, you mustn't be depressed. It's not your fault. The world doesn't understand creative artists anymore.
No, bassoon player isn't creative, Marge. He executes.
Well, anyway, he's an artist. That means he's got intelligence and imagination. And that means he's got a head start when it comes to a new job, doesn't it, honey?
Sure. Yeah, head start. Marge, I tell you, there isn't any use. I've been checking into the category office every day. All I know is how to play the bassoon. Well, we'll just have to get used to being on reserve.
But what will we tell the children, dear?
And then, of course, one day the household robot broke down in the middle of breakfast. What is it? What?
The robot right in the middle of getting breakfast, it exploded.
I'll ring center.
Oh, but the children will be late to school. Call in, Michael.
Well, there's not much use in their hurrying if there's no breakfast, is there?
Well, I'm trying. You think it's easy making breakfast by hand?
No.
Don't just stand there. Do something. The children won't get any breakfast, and they've got enough to put up with.
Well, what do you mean by that? What exactly have they got to put up with?
Look, I haven't got time to argue with you. Which one of these tubes is the orange juice concentrate?
I think that's ketchup.
Well, turn it off.
Oh, you jammed it.
Oh, it's been like this ever since you stopped.
Ever since I what?
Oh, keep your hand over the ketchup. It's flooding the kitchen.
Ever since what? Ever since they put me on reserve. That's what it is, isn't it? Listen, if you think... Oh, that confounded robot always in the way.
If you're going to use foul language, you might at least keep your voice down. You know what sharp ears the children have.
Oh, so now I'm a corrupter of my own children. Well, let me tell you that... What's that?
The Henomat. I said it to synthesize fresh eggs. It's out of control. Oh, Gilbert, there goes the ketchup again.
No.
Do something.
Finally, I got the ketchup and orange juice faucets turned off and the Henomat pulled out of the socket. I looked down, and there was our household robot on the floor. It was all its fault, it and millions of its kind. Suddenly, all the frustration of the last few months focused on the robot, and I kicked it.
Well, now I've seen everything. A grown man actually kicking a poor, defenseless robot.
I was expecting the mechanic from Robot Center when the door buzzed. I opened it, but it wasn't the mechanic. It was my father-in-law.
Hello, son. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, hello. I wasn't expecting you. George is a politician. They haven't yet found a robot that can take that trade over. Right behind him was the mechanic from Robot Service. However, he wasn't the mechanic, he explained.
Actually, you see, I'm a robot therapist, specializing in robot psychiatry and robot synaptic stimulation.
Well, what do you mean, therapist? I sent for a mechanic.
Now, you just leave it to me, sir. Where is the robot?
In the closet. I dumped it there after it broke down.
Oh, too bad, too bad. It would have been better if you'd left it where it fell. Failure attitudes often give invaluable pointers to the cause of breakdown. In here?
Yeah, that's right, in the kitchen closet. How do you like that? They got psychiatrists for robots.
Well, certainly, son, that's the way things are now. They're branching out, keeping one step ahead of the robots all the time. Man's got to be adaptable. Now, you take old Tom Angel. Old Tom up and registers himself as the first of a new generation of reading card verse writers. He was first in, so he got charter rights. Now, you got the idea? Once you get in the progressive mood, you're all set.
Yeah, funny kind of progress, dusting off a defunct custom.
Yeah, well, nowadays, a man doesn't have to fight for a job. All he has to do is to invent one. That's one of the platforms of our party, the party that stands up for the reservist rights. Why, you know, it was our party who saw to it that every family worker and reservist alike had a robot of his own by inalienable rights.
No, I'm sick and tired of having a robot of my own. I'd be perfectly happy if there weren't any robots at all, especially the ones that sit in their chromium-plated tails in chromium-plated orchestras playing chromium-plated bassoons.
What? Why, Gilbert, you don't know what you're saying. You're talking like a Luddite.
Oh, I am I? What's a Luddite?
It's history. They were the people who broke up the first power machines 200 years ago. Well, if that's the way you feel...
Hold it now, wait a minute, hold it.
Well, what is it? What's the matter now?
Pop, I've got it. Excuse me, I'm on my way.
Mr. Perry, I just gave your robot a tape audio in there, and the results were sad.
Yeah, well, look.
Sad.
Yeah, look, I'm busy. I'll talk to you later.
That robot has developed a severe guilt complex.
Guilt complex?
That's right. Oh, they're sensitive, you know. Once they get the idea their owners aren't happy, they brood about it. They make mistakes, and that makes them feel more guilty. You just have to keep these robots understanding that you're happy.
Well, finally, I got away from the robot psychiatrist. The category office was crowded with reservists hanging around with the slender hope of getting in a hot tip. I went into the first booth and spoke to the robot clerk.
Yes, sir. You wish to file a category. I have your name and other information now. Nature of category.
Neo-Luddite.
Repeat, please.
Neo-Luddite.
Definition?
The lawful opposition to the robot economy. Now, let's see a robot take over that job.
Classification of category.
Political.
Your application will take a short time to check. This machine sends a copy to the registry below. They carry a complete file of all categories.
Was that it?
I'm sorry, sir, but your application has been rejected.
What?
The category office extends its sincere regrets and trusts this will not deter you from making further application at the category office.
Now, you listen here, you metallic mouthpiece. That application is legitimate. Now, nobody's got any right to reject it. Now, you can't just stand
Please,
here.
sir, you are overexcited. The supervisor is on his way.
Ah, Mr. Perry, you're upset, eh? Well, you understand we dislike having to turn down anyone's application.
Now, listen. Now, that category I put forward is perfectly good. Now, I've got a right to be heard. An opposition party is just what's needed.
Well, of course it is, Mr. Perry. I was only trying to tell you that you couldn't register that category because it was registered years ago.
What?
Yes, the Humans Only movement is a recognized party, even though it's never managed to win an election or attract many adherents. But the movement does have state backing, funds, officers, the same proportion of salary to officials, members, the same as the two big parties. Better luck next time, Mr. Perry.
There is only one thing to do. Start all over again, some of the lines. Study and study until I could do it as well as I could play the bassoon. But what line? And how could I be sure that it wouldn't be taken over by the robots? I was walking along the street, and then suddenly a soundy ad jumped up out of a hydrant at me, and I popped it and listened.
Are you on reserve? Are you tired of being unemployed? Don't fret. Contact the C.P. Jones Bureau, Category Inventors, Room 53, Universe Building.
Just as I got to the Universe Building, the doors swung open and two big bruisers came through carrying a little old man.
You let me go, you hear? Let me go! I'll have a writ served on you. A man's got his rights. Now you let me go. Let me go.
Are you all right?
I'll have a writ served on him.
Are you hurt?
No.
Oh. Well, I wonder if you could help me. This is the Universe Building, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Would you mind dusting off my jacket?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking for somebody here. I wonder if you could help me.
Robbers. Throwing a man out after all these years. 10 years I've worked in this building.
Oh, you work here. Well, then perhaps you could help me find...
Yes, I had my own office. The C.B. Jones Bureau.
You're C.P. Jones, the category inventor?
You heard of me?
I was coming to see if you could fix me up.
Oh, well, it's just as well you didn't. I didn't have a category in stock. As a matter of fact, son, I never did manage to invent a single category, except the one of Category Inventor. Well, they finally caught up with me, revised my category a week ago, and canceled my license. Say, would you like to have a drink?
No, I don't have any money, only reserve script.
Well, that's good enough for an emergency. Come on. You see, it didn't cost him anything. My fee was only payable out of salary if and when I delivered. Once a year, the accounting office sent over a robot auditor to check the books. Oh, I had 2 or 3 sets of books, but they finally caught up with me, and now I've got to invent another job. I used to be a trapeze artist in the circus. I was the oldest trapeze man in the game, but I got too shaky. Have another drink.
Yeah, well, it's my turn to buy.
All right, but say, after we finish this round, let's move to a real bar.
About the 4th bar, we got to playing a parlor game, inventing make-believe categories, you know. You go from the inane to the obscene and back again. And we got thrown out of one bar, and then we started on beer, and, well, that made us sad. And C.P. Jones began to recite poetry.
How am I to face the odds of man's bedevilment in God's? I, a stranger and afraid, in a world I never made. Say, did I ever show you a one-handed nip-up from the chandelier? I used to be an acrobat, you know. Alley-oop.
I woke up with the sun in my eyes, and I saw a figure moving. Is that you, Marge?
If you want breakfast, you'll have to go out. They haven't delivered the new robot yet. Do you want all this trash?
What trash?
These papers in your pockets and a note.
What does it say?
Oh, I'm not surprised you can't read this morning. I'm surprised you're breathing this morning.
No, please, Marge.
All right. It says umbrological parallax tracer. What's that?
Umbrological parallax tracer. Umbrological, That's it.
What's it?
That's it. Give me my pants. I've got something to attend to.
Well, I'm glad to see you, Mr. Perry. Trying again, eh?
Yes.
Category, umbrological, parallax, tracer. Well, most interesting. What exactly is this?
Well, it involves ascertaining the degrees of parallax for the current umbrological investigation. It's not easy to explain in a few words.
Of course. I thought it would probably be too complex for me to grasp. I'll check it through. Frankly, I don't understand half the details of the categories that we... let's see now. Oh, dear.
What's the matter?
The West Town office has already admitted an application this morning for an umbrological parallax correlator.
Huh?
Now, you'll have to prove that the two functions are distinct and separate.
Umbrological parallax That wouldn't have been a Mr. C.P. Jones, would it?
Why, yes. You know each other?
Well, yes. We should have met this morning and filed our categories together. But a parallax tracer is entirely different from a parallax correlator. You see, a parallax can be correlated in a dialectical opposition in a conjunction to and with it being traced. Now, to put it more simply...
Well, that's perfectly all right. I'll see that the distinction is made. Well, your charter will be mailed to you within a few days. I suppose you'll want to share offices with Mr. Jones?
Why, yes, sir. Yes, I suppose so.
Very well, then. I'll have the offices assigned. Congratulations, Mr. Perry. You're off reserve.
Well, how do you like the new office, Gilbert, my boy?
Oh, figure you almost queered the pitch for me by filing.
Well, I didn't have your address, and I didn't know you'd get the same idea. I just remember we laughed a lot over it and thought it one of the best phony categories we'd made up. Of the printable ones, that is. Anyway, I did change the end to give you a loophole.
Oh, of course, we're cheating, aren't we?
Cheating? Well, I'm not. I've already looked up umbrology for a start.
There isn't any such word.
Well, if there was, it would be a science of shadows. Oh. Now, all we have to do is find the parallaxes.
But you're not serious.
Serious? Of course I'm serious. The world's so complicated these days, everyone's such a specialist that no one can be sure yet what's fact and what isn't. We're the only umbrologists in the world. Who can question us?
Yes, I suppose that's true.
Why, the scope's enormous.
Anyway, we're off reserve. We've got a job.
And I'm not letting any grass grow under my feet here. Now, don't just stand there. Our robot hasn't arrived yet. Give me a hand with this filing cabinet. We're going to need it.
You're right. We got our work cut out for us. Let me tell you, the life of an umbrological parallax tracer isn't all beer and Skittles. Let's get to work.
Fred Collins again, and I'll have a word for you about tonight's X-1 in a moment.
On your weekends, at home or in your car, or at the beach, or wherever you are, take a radio along and let Monitor take you along to wherever exciting and interesting and entertaining things are happening anywhere in the world. And sometimes under, like this.
This is Bob Haynes speaking to you from the central control room aboard the U.S. submarine Sea Lion on this UDT exercise called the Bottom Lockout. We're about ready to dive. That sound you just heard was the decompression. The top bridge hatch is closed. We're all secured now.
Dive. There we go. Yes, from a ride in a Navy submarine to anywhere in the world where exciting and interesting and entertaining things are happening, Monitor takes you there, making your weekends brighter with celebrities, music, news, and sports. This is Frank Blair inviting you to join us on Monitor on most of these NBC stations.
You have just heard X-1 presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Daniel F. Galloway's unusual story titled If Money. Read it in Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you The Category Inventor, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Arthur Sellings and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Nelson Olmsted as Gilbert, Hetty Galen as Marge, Wendell Holmes as George, Joseph Bell as the serviceman, Alan Bergman as the supervisor, Bert Cowlin as Kurt, and Edwin Cooper as Mr. Jones. This is Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
There's excitement in the air at night, and Nightline brings it to you. Hear Nightline with Walter O'Keefe, next on most of these NBC stations.
That was X-1 with the Category Inventor as originally heard June 27th, 1957. A quick programming note that coming up in August, celebrating National Radio Day, Old Time Radio USA presents its second annual Top 100 Old Time Radio Shows. It's a 2-day event celebrating National Radio Day with the best old time radio shows ever aired. Keep listening to Classic Radio Rewind in the weeks to come. And that wraps up this week's Classic Radio Rewind. Join us next week as we'll hear from the adventures of Philip Marlowe and Suspense. So until next week, for Classic Radio Rewind and the WOTR Radio Network, this is Barry Slinker saying goodbye for now.
Classic Radio Rewind is a production of the WOTR Radio Network. For more Classic Radio Rewind and to listen to any of the WOTR Radio Network stations, go to www.wotrradionetwork.com.